It's not as cold as I thought it would be here.
Да, не всегда холодно зимой. Последние изменения климатических условий принесли в наш город иногда и хорошие изменения, когда становится теплее в зимний период.
Sergei Balmasov helps coordinate shipping traffic in Murmansk, the world's biggest Arctic port. He told us that with warming temperatures, the city will thrive.
What is Murmansk known for?
Порт является крайне важным с стратегической точки зрения, потому что он имеет собственный выход на мировой океан. Доступность Северного морского пути сегодня имеет очень важное значение.
The Northern Sea Route is a legendary shipping lane along Russia's Arctic coastline that has been largely inaccessible because of the dense sea ice. But now that ice is melting, opening up vast, untouched reserves of oil, gas, and minerals. So while much of the world fears the catastrophic effects of climate change, Russia is looking to capitalize on it.
This is the Murmansk port. It's called the Gateway to the Arctic. We're about to get on this massive cargo ship. It's owned by Norilsk Nickel, and we're going to ride with them along the Northern Sea Route as they transport a bunch of nickel and copper to the next port city, Archangelis.
Norilsk Nickel, a massive shipping and mining conglomerate worth more than $20 billion, is just one of the companies betting big on the Northern Sea Route. Just a few years ago, navigating these waters was extremely difficult, but that's changing now. The ice is melting away at record rates, shrinking in summer months to about a quarter of its size in just 30 years.
How much has traffic increased on the Northern Sea Route in the last few years?
Трафик очень возрос. Так, выигрыш, конечно, очень большой по времени, по топливу, солидный, да.
Cargo ships traveling from Russia have historically used the Suez Canal to reach Asia, navigating around 3 continents and often traveling more than 10,000 miles. However, the Northern Sea Route cuts that distance almost in half and can save up to 15 days in travel time.
То есть выигрыш двойной, там, может, даже больше. Северный морской путь очень используется в хорошем формате.
And that exploitation doesn't stop with sea routes. Norilsk's ability to ship faster and cheaper also means stepping up its core business, mining.
We're going down into Norilsk nickel mine right now. We're going more than a kilometer underground.
Все, выходим.
But as production here increases, so does the environmental impact.
What's that smell?
Электролит содержит серную кислоту. Ну, у нас, значит, имеется приточная вентиляция, так?
What are the effects of that being released into the air, into the environment?
Это характерно для всех цехов электролиза меди в мире. Для всех.
The difference is, Norilsk nickel emits so much sulfur dioxide that acid rain has left a dead zone around the city as far as the eye can see. This, combined with heavy metal waste that seeps into the ground and the water, has turned Norilsk into one of the most polluted cities on Earth. And while Norilsk has made efforts to reduce its footprint, just last year, a chemical spill turned one of the local rivers bright red. And studies have shown that Norilsk's waterways are flush with industrial pollution. But with business booming, residents here don't seem to mind.
Is it safe to swim here? Is it polluted?
Абсолютно безопасно. Абсолютно. Тут водится даже рыба. Вот такая небольшая.
Ну, я всегда смеюсь. Я хожу 20 лет, я не позеленела, нормально. Значит, можно купаться. В рыбу не превратилась. Можно купаться.
How has the environment been affected by all the mines and the factories and all of that?
Все мы прекрасно знаем, что Норильский никель – это гигант. Иногда бывает, Норильский никель выпускает такой газ на город, что дышать просто невозможно. Но, в общем, на Норильск попадают люди очень хорошие. Вот при всем при том, да, приезжаешь, газу вдохнул, хорошо, жизнь в радость.
But it's not just the locals here that are putting a positive spin on the effects of pollution. We spoke to Nobel Prize-winning climatologist Dr. Oleg Anisimov, who is studying what climate change could mean for the Russian economy. We see the effects of climate change as negative, catastrophic. Do you see it that way?
No, The problem of climate change is actually the problem of adaptation to climate change. This is not a tragedy. Certainly some places will become unlivable. But on the other hand, there are places that will become more livable. One should not consider challenges of climate change without connection to the potential benefits. There are regions in the world where there are no potential benefits, but Russia is not such a region. The list of gains is perhaps advances of the modern agricultural lands to the north, which creates a lot of jobs. We have savings on the heating energy. The task is to turn these potential benefits into real benefits. Russia is lucky.
And as climate change continues to create new economic opportunities, Russia's fossil fuel industry is in the mood to celebrate.
It's National Oil Day in Russia, and we're in Surgut, which is the oil capital of the country and also one of its fastest growing cities. And Gazprom, one of the big oil companies here, is throwing a huge celebration for all of their workers.
Газовая промышленность – это отрасль, одна из основных, которая не только питает наш округ, он питает нашу страну.
Not only were residents of Surgut unconcerned about climate change, many we spoke to felt overwhelmingly positive about it.
Да, для нас на самом деле это очень приятно, когда теплое лето, когда... Поэтому, да, для нас это, конечно, как плюс.
Все будет хорошо. Будут пальмы только расти, и все.
This nonchalant attitude is now a national phenomenon. A recent Pew study revealed that Russians were the least concerned people on the planet over the threat of global climate change. And as the population surges in boomtowns like Surgut, developers are cashing in.
Этот город был маленький, но он был маленький, но красивый. А сейчас он стал больше, появились новые дома, новые технологии, можно наблюдать.
Local real estate mogul Yevgeny Barsov is building whole neighborhoods from scratch to accommodate the influx of people.
У нас поселки расстроились, то есть 10-15 лет город вырос в 2 раза, может быть даже и больше.
As we looked out on his budding real estate empire, Yevgeny repeated familiar arguments often used by fossil fuel proponents in the US.
Do you ever hear about climate change on the radio or on TV or in the newspaper?
Это просто смешно, мне кажется. Я думаю, это страшилки для тех, кто вообще ничего не понимает и не читает литературу. Поэтому я не верю ученым в конкретном вот этом случае. Мне так кажется.
Not a single person we spoke to in Surgut took the threat of climate change seriously, and they might be taking their cues from Russian state media.
Сенсация! Человек все-таки не виноват в глобальном потеплении.
А вот с точки зрения народного хозяйства можно сказать, что в нашей стране, наверное, даже лучше будет, если потеплеет.
While the Russian media tries to sow doubt about climate change, the first signs of its long-term impact are already plain to see.
We're flying over Lake Baikal right now. This wildfires burned through hundreds of thousands of acres around this lake.
Пожары, как правило, возникают на сопке, и потом пожар начинает идти, спускаться вниз в долину, увеличивая тем самым площадь возгорания.
At Lake Baikal, a jewel of Russian tourism, forest fires last year were some of the worst in history and were covered extensively by the international press.
51 individual fires have spread across tens of thousands of acres of land.
Particularly hard hit were the forests around the world's largest and deepest freshwater lake.
NASA's satellite imagery showed more than 8 million acres of forest were destroyed in early 2016, but the Russian government tried to downplay it, reporting just a fraction of the damage. It seemed like everyone in Russia wanted to focus on the benefits of climate change while ignoring the costs. And the national narrative is being orchestrated from just one place, the Kremlin. To get the government's official stance, we spoke to President Putin's top climate change advisor, Alexander Bedritsky.
Russia's pledge in Paris actually allows the country to increase emissions for years to come. Why is that?
Вы почитайте статью Конвенции. Она гласит о том, что страны принимают усилия по снижению выбросов парниковых газов, в том числе не нанося ущерб своему экономическому развитию. Никто не собирается свой экономический рост ограничивать в ущерб развитию. Пока существует потребность в минеральных сырьевых ресурсах, до тех пор будет добывать. И поскольку полярный регион, Арктика, она очень чувствительна к климатическим изменениям, те изменения, которые происходят, они, в принципе, дают больше возможностей рода ресурсного потенциала арктического региона.
Until recently, many Americans would have considered this an outdated philosophy that only made sense during the Industrial Revolution. But now, it's once again becoming doctrine in the U.S. as well.
Regarding climate change, I think the president was fairly straightforward. We're not spending money on that anymore. We consider that to be a waste of your money.
Show of hands, those of you who kind of hope Administrator Pruitt will just sort of make the EPA go away.
As of today, the United States will cease all implementation of the non-binding Paris Accord.
What do you think America's role is in fighting climate change compared to Russia?
Ну, вообще, я считаю, что Америка была, вообще говоря, лидером, на которого многие страны смотрят. Очень хорошо будет, если эти обязательства будут выполнены, они будут последующими, скажем, руководителями государства меняться.
But with all of these economic opportunities, it's hard to deny that climate change will be financially beneficial for Russia.
Ну, этого никто и не отрицает.